I think that I may have found the perfect counterpart to Thomas Souček, but it's not a name that you might recognise. In fact, it is a player with a surname that sounds similar to a West Ham player, but there will be no need for a DNA test because I'm sure that he and the current Hammer are not related in any way, shape or form. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about a midfielder called Marcos Antônio, a 21-year-old Brazilian who plays in Ukraine for Shakhtar Donetsk. I particularly look at Shakhtar Donetsk because I think that it's a good breeding ground for Brazilian footballing talent. The likes of Bernard, Elano, Fernandinho and Fred have all had successful careers with Donetsk. Marcos Antônio is one name that is trying to continue the Brazilian legacy at this club. He moved to Ukraine in 2019 and took a while to settle. He had to get used to living in Eastern Europe and getting used to the language and the culture. As you can imagine, there's quite a strong contrast between Brazil and Ukraine for many reasons. He slowly became a starter in the team. He was very patient. It wasn't like a quick process for him to get into the team, but once he started to feel settled and comfortable in games, he was rewarded with more playing time. He also received a call-up to the Brazil under-20 team. Back in January, Juventus tried to scout him and even attempted to sign him. He was hot on the radar of a couple of Italian clubs. As for this guy's style of play, it's easy to see why I love him and really think that he'd be a perfect off-the-ball player. Firstly, I want to point out that he's got a very humble, calm, and very cool-headed approach to his footballing career. He's never been the kind of player to want everything and expect everything being handed to him on a silver platter. He's always admitted that whatever happens in his career, it's not going to be up to him and that not everything revolves around him. If anything, he's more than happy to admit that the manager will make decisions, and Marcos Antônio just has to go along with it. I would describe this guy in 3 words: tricky, skillful, intelligent. He knows how to find passes from a wide range and from up close. And if anything, he's like a motor in the midfield. Because after he passes the ball, he's immediately running into a vacant space and calling for the ball back. He tends to do this in the final third as well. He'll pass the ball, run off into the space and call for it back so that he can touch the ball again. He wants to be as involved and to impose himself in the game as much as he can. He also is able to pass the ball with both feet in pressure and non-pressure situations. In a pressure situation, he'll make a shorter pass and try not to call for the ball back so soon because he doesn't want to lose the ball in the build-up. If it's a non-pressure situation, he'll call for the ball back, and that will help him to transition the ball from one part of the field to the other without overcomplicating things. A level-headed player is never something to turn down. Marcos Antônio is actually a real gem from what I've seen. A 21-year-old who has the humility, maturity, and intelligence to know what to do with his career and wants to know how to grow. I think we could be seeing a move for him to another club in the future, and he would be extremely underrated. This would epitomise a diamond in the rough.